Hi, welcome back to my class in Business Mathematics. For today, we will take up the computation of simple interest at simple interest rate when the time given is in days. And when the time given is in days, we either use approximate time or exact time. In using approximate time, we assume that each month of the year has 30 days. And in using the exact time, we take the exact number of days for each month of the year. Last time, we took up the formula for computing the amount of interest at simple interest rate. And it is given by capital I equals capital P multiplied by small I multiplied by T, where capital I is the amount of interest, capital P is the principal, the small letter I is the interest rate, and the small t is the time. This is the formula we had last time, and we applied this to some problems for computing the amount of interest capital I given the principal capital P, the interest rate small I, and the time small t. And we said that in using this formula, the interest rate should be in decimal number and the time should be in years. We also said that principal is the original amount invested or borrowed. And the amount of interest capital I can be interpreted as the payment for the use of someone else's money or as an income from profitable investment. For today's example, consider the following problem. How much interest is earned by 25,000 pesos at 6 1/4% from July 27, 2020 to January 26, 2021. What we are required in this problem is to find the value of capital I, the amount of interest or the interest earned for the principal of 25,000 pesos. The interest rate is 6 1/4%. Again, it is not specified in this problem whether 6 1/4% is a simple interest rate, but we said last time that unless otherwise specified, we take the given interest rate in any problem as simple interest rate. Thus, we take 6 1/4% as simple interest rate, and we have to convert this to decimal number. The time is the number of days from July 27, 2020 to January 26, 2021. And to find the number of days between these two dates, we will use approximate time and exact time. Again, in using the approximate time, we assume that each of the 12 months in a year has 30 days. To find the approximate number of days between July 27, 2020 and January 26, 2021, we count the number of days from July 27 to January 26, assuming that each month of the year has 30 days. We start counting the number of days for July from July 27, and we start counting from July 27 to July 30, assuming that July has 30 days, 27, 28, 29, 30. We have 4 days for July. But 4 days can be obtained by subtracting from 30 days 26 days. 30 because we assume that July has 30 days for approximate time. And 26 is obtained by subtracting 1 from 27. Because if you subtract 27 from 30, you will get only 3 days. Because if you subtract 27 from 30, 27 will not be counted. Thus, we subtract 1 from 27, we get 26. And we subtract 26 from 30, we get 4 days. There are 4 days for the month of July, from July 27 to July 30. And for August, September, October, November, December, we assume that each of these months has 30 days. 30 days for August, 30 days for September, 30 days for October, 30 days for November, and 30 days for December. We have 30 days for these months because in approximate time, we assume that each month of the year has 30 days. And the number of days should be counted until January 26, 2021. So for the month of January, we have 26 days. And we add, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 30 multiplied by 5 is 150 plus 26, 176 plus 4, 180 days. 180 days is the approximate time from July 27, 2020 to January 26, 2021. The approximate number of days between these two dates is 180 days, assuming that each month of the year has 30 days. But in using the formula for computing the amount of simple interest, we have to convert the number of days to year. For the approximate time, we take 1 year equals 360 days. Because we assume that each of the 12 months in a year has 30 days. Hence, 30 multiplied by 12, we get 360 days in 1 year. And to convert this approximate time of 180 days, we multiply 180 days by conversion factor. A conversion factor is a fraction obtained from these equivalent units. 1 year equals 360 days. And we write 360 days in the denominator so that days will cancel out. And we write 1 year in the numerator. Thus, the conversion factor is a fraction with numerator 1 year. And the denominator 360 days. Days from the numerator and days from the denominator will cancel out. And you get 180 over 360 year. 180 divided by 360 year. Or in decimal places, this is 180 over 360 is 1/2 in lowest terms. And 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. 0.5 year. Hence, if we will compute the amount of simple interest using approximate time, we will use 0.5 year for the approximate time. But before we find the amount of simple interest, we find the exact time, the exact number of days from July 27, 2021 to January 26, 2021. And we start counting the number of days from July 27. The exact number of days for July is 31. So we start counting the number of days from July 27 to July 31. We have 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. We have 5 days for July. Or we can get 5 days by subtracting 26. 27 minus 1 is 26, and we subtract 26 from 31, the exact number of days for July. 31 minus 26. We have 31 here because the exact number of days for July is 31. And 26 is obtained by subtracting 1 from 27. 27 minus 1 is 26. And subtract 26 from 31. You get 5 days. If you write here 27, 31 minus 27, you will get only 4 days. Because if you subtract 27 from 31, 27 will not be counted. So you have to subtract 1 from 27, and you will get 26, and subtract 26 from 31. You get 5 days. To help you count the exact number of days in each month of the year, you can use your knuckles in your hand. The knuckles represent 31 days. And you start from January. January has 31 days. February has 28 days. January, February, March, 31 days. If the month falls on your knuckle, the month has 31 days. If the month falls between your two knuckles, the month has 30 days, except for February that has 28 days. January, February, March, April, May, June, July. July has 31 days. August, 31 days. August, September. The month of September falls between two knuckles. So September has 30 days. August, September, October falls on your knuckle. So October has 31 days. August, September, October, November has 30 days. December has 31 days. August, September, October, November, December. And we count the number of days until January 26. So for the month of January, we have 26 days. And you add for the exact time between July 27, 2020 and January 26, 2021. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 multiplied by 30 is 150. Plus 26, 176. Plus 1, 177. Plus 1, 178. Plus 1, 179. And plus 5, 184 days. The exact time, the exact number of days between July 27, 2020 and January 26, 2021 is 184 days. There is a difference of 4 days between the approximate time and the exact time. Now we also convert the exact number of days to year. Now we take the equivalent units. 1 year. 1 year equals 365 days. For the exact number of days in a year, we take 1 year equals 365 days. And this exact number of days, 184 days. 184 days. We multiply by conversion factor, which is a fraction. With numerator equal to 1 year. And 1 year equals 365 days. In writing the conversion factor, we write days, 365 days in the denominator, so that the days in the numerator and the days in the denominator will cancel out. And we get the exact time in year. P equals 184. Divide by 365 day. 365 year. The exact time in year is 184 over 365. And you may use your calculator to convert this fraction to 2 decimal places. And then we will compute the approximate amount of simple interest using the approximate time. And we will compute the exact amount of simple interest using this exact time. Compute the amount of approximate simple interest using approximate time. We have computed the exact number of days from July 27, 2020 to January 26, 2021. And we convert that approximate number of days to year, and we get 0.5 year. This is the approximate time. And using this approximate time, we compute the approximate amount of simple interest using the formula capital I equals capital P, small I, multiplied by small I, multiplied by small t, where small t is the approximate time. The given principal is 25,000 pesos, denoted by capital P. The interest rate is 6 1/4%, and we convert that to decimal number. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25, plus 6, we get 6.25%. To convert this to decimal number, we divide 6.25 by 100, and we get 0.0625. And we do not round this up yet to 2 decimal places, because we will round up the answer, the final answer. We will only use the rounding off to 2 decimal places when we get the final answer for the approximate amount of interest. In this formula, we substitute the formula for the amount of simple interest. We substitute P, 25,000, multiplied by small I, in decimal number 0.0625, multiplied by time, the approximate time 0.5. And using your calculator, you multiply 25,000 by 0.0625 by 0.5, and you get 781.25 pesos. After you multiply, you now round up the answer to 2 decimal places. But this product will give you an answer exact to 2 decimal places. So this 781.25 pesos is the approximate amount of interest, because we obtained this amount of interest using the approximate time 0.5 year. We also compute the exact amount of simple interest using the exact time. Earlier we have computed we found the exact number of days from July 27, 2020 to January 26, 2021. And we convert that exact number of days to year using the equivalent units. 1 year equals 365 days. And the exact time in year is 184 divided by 365 year. Using your calculator, you may check 184 divided by 365. You should get 0.50410,958,90410 year. Again, we do not round this off yet. We will do the rounding off to 2 decimal places when we get the final answer for the exact amount of simple interest. Using the formula for calculating the amount of interest, capital I equals PIT, we substitute the principal, the simple interest rate in decimal number, and the exact time. Hence, the exact amount of interest is 25,000 principal multiplied by the interest rate in decimal number 0.0625 multiplied by the exact time. We take all the decimal numbers because we will do the rounding off in the final answer. Using your calculator, you multiply 25,000 by 0.0625 by 0.504,109,589,0410. And in your calculator, you round it off to 2 decimal number. From your calculator, you round off your answer to 2 decimal number, and you should get 787.67 pesos. This is the exact amount of simple interest. Because in calculating this interest, we use the exact time in year between July 27, 2020 and January 26, 2021. Now comparing the exact amount of interest with the approximate amount of interest, it shows that we get a higher interest using the approximate. There is using the exact time. There is a difference between the exact amount of interest and the approximate amount of interest. And we get a higher amount of interest if we use the exact time. If we consider 25,000 pesos as a loan or as a money borrowed, the borrower has to pay the amount of interest at the end of January 26, 2021, plus the original amount borrowed. Hence, the total amount to be paid is the interest plus the original amount borrowed, which is the principal. And this sum is known as the total amount or accumulated value of the principal, denoted by capital A. Capital A denotes the total amount to be paid on January 26, 2021. That includes the original amount borrowed plus the amount of interest. Hence, the total amount A is equal to the sum of the principal plus the interest, capital I. Again, total amount is equal to the principal plus the amount of interest, or accumulated value equals the original amount invested plus the interest earned on profitable investment. But in computing the amount of interest, we use the formula capital I equals PIT. Accumulated value A equals P plus capital I. Amount of interest, but the amount of interest is given by principal multiplied by interest rate multiplied by time. Now, in this equation, we replace capital I with PIT. And we get A equals P plus I equals PIT. By inspection of the right-hand side of this equation, the first term is P, the second term is PIT. You can see that P is a common factor. And from algebra, we can factor out P. If P is a common factor from each of these terms. Accumulated value now equals P. Factor out P because P is common in both two terms. Now we find the other factor by dividing each term by P. The first term is P, divided by the common factor P is 1. 1 plus, the second term is PIT, divided by the common factor P. PIT divided by P is IP. Now we have two formula for computing the total amount or accumulated value. In the first formula, total amount or accumulated value equals principal plus the amount of interest. And you may use this formula to find the accumulated value or total amount if you know the amount of interest. Or if you want to make use of this formula to calculate for the total amount, you need first to calculate the amount of interest. The other option or alternative for computing the total amount or accumulated value is by using this formula. Capital A equals P times quantity 1 plus IT. In using this formula, you need not compute for the amount of interest capital I. You can directly find the total amount or accumulated value of the original amount invested or the original amount borrowed without computing the amount of interest. Using this formula, you simply substitute the principal or the original amount borrowed, the simple interest rate in decimal number, and the time in year. For this problem, we compute the total amount to be paid. If 25,000 pesos is the original amount borrowed that earned an interest of 781.25 pesos using approximate time, or an interest of 787.67 pesos using exact time. Using the approximate time, the total amount to be paid, we use the first formula because we already know the amount of interest. Capital A equals total amount to be paid equals principal, the original amount borrowed, 25,000 pesos. 25,000 pesos plus the approximate amount of interest, 781.25 pesos, and the total amount to be paid on January 26, 2021 will be 25,781.25. This total amount includes the original amount borrowed of 25,000 pesos and the approximate amount of interest of 781.25 pesos. And this amount of 25,781.25 pesos represents the approximate total amount. or the approximate accumulated value of 25,000. We also compute the total amount to be paid using the amount of interest computed using the exact time. We also use this formula, accumulated value equals principal plus the amount of interest. Because we already know the amount of interest, using exact time, it's 787.67 pesos. Thus, the total amount to be paid using exact time equals principal, the original amount borrowed, 25,000 pesos. Plus the exact amount of interest, 787.67 pesos. 787.67 pesos. And we get a total of 25,787.67 pesos. 25,787.67 pesos. This is the exact amount, the exact total amount to be paid on January 26, 2021. 25,787.67 pesos. That includes the original amount borrowed of 25,000 and the exact amount of simple interest of 787.67 pesos. Again, comparing the exact total amount with the approximate total amount to be paid, there is a difference, and the total amount to be paid using exact time is higher than the total amount to be paid using approximate time. Thus, the bankers would definitely prefer to compute the amount of interest and the total amount to be paid using exact time. For your practice, you may want to try the following exercise. How much interest is earned by 75,000 pesos at 7 3/4% from September 7, 2020 to March 19, 2021. For this problem, you find the approximate number of days from September 7, 2020 to March 19, 2021 by assuming 30 days for each month of the year and 360 days in 1 year. Then you compute the approximate amount of interest using the formula I equals PIT, where T is the approximate time. And you also find the exact number of days from September 7, 2020 to March 19, 2021 by taking the exact number of days in each month of the year. And by taking 1 year equals 365 days. And then you compute the exact amount of interest using this formula I equals PIT, where T now is the exact time. The approximate time in days and the exact number of days between these two dates must be converted to year before you substitute the approximate time or exact time into this formula. In the next lesson, we will take more examples for using the formula for accumulated value A equals P plus I. And for using this alternative formula for computing the accumulated value or total amount A equals P times quantity 1 plus IT. And we will also use this formula to find the unknown interest rate, I, unknown simple interest rate, the unknown principal or the unknown amount, original amount invested, and if the unknown is the time in year. If you have any questions about the lesson for today, you ask your question in the comments below. And I will see you in the next lesson in business mathematics. Thank you.